So yeah, the 3-day camping trip I called Gateway to the Tip But Dirty, because the trip I did before this one was a 2-day camping trip, and I went up to Cooktown. So I went up the Crab Track, proceeded to drop Kane in the Daintree River, but managed to pick him back up again, and he started back up again by some miracle, and we got out of the Daintree River. So we did the rest of the Crab Track, which is an amazing track. I've done it so many times through the years, but never on anything like Kane. But he handled it beautifully. The back brakes faded on some of the steepest downhills. So yeah, I had no brakes on a couple of the steepest, slipperiest downhills, but if you know what to do, you know what to do. So we got through that all good, but then for the rest of the weekend, it was all bitumen, nothing but bitumen, all the way till past Cooktown, when I went up to Isabella Falls, a little beautiful little spot just near Cooktown. So I started thinking, this is ridiculous, so much bitumen to go up the tip now. It used to be an amazing adventure, but now it's nearly bitumen half the way. So I thought there's got to be a way that you can get to the tip and do mostly dirt. So with my local knowledge, I came up with a bit of a route. So my route was to leave Cairns, go up Coranda Range, and then go through a road called Black Mountain Road, through which heads north to a town called Gelatin. But on that road, there's a couple of good single tracks that I like to do, and there's also, you can turn left and head west on the top half of the bump track. And I was going to do both of those, but because I left 4 hours late, I didn't have time to do them. But like I said in my videos, they're only an hour away from where I live, so I can go back and do them anytime. I had to make good time to get to my destination. So I went through Black Mountain Road and then turned left heading west back towards Mount Malloy, and then you turn right and head north again, and you go past Mount Carbine, and then past Mount Carbine there's a road on the left called Hurricane Station Road, and you go down there to a beautiful camp spot called Cooktown Crossing. And that's where I got for the first night. I was hoping to get a bit further that first day, but I'm not complaining with camping at Cooktown Crossing because it is a beautiful spot. I camped there many years ago and got flooded in, and it was a bit of a memorial journey because the guy that I used to go camping with there, he died a few months ago, so I went for a bit of a memorial ride for Dougie as well. And that's where the first technical difficulty came in. The next morning I was giving Didge a bit of a fly around, and he managed to hit a tree and fall in the river, and he drowned. But I think that was Dougie, because Dougie was all about serenity, and he was a bit of a cranky Scotsman. So I can just see him now. It would have been, bloody hell, random, why are you bringing this noisy thing out into the beautiful quiet bush for? And swatted it out of the sky. So I really think that's why Didge hit the water. But anyway, as you've seen, Didge is okay. So from Cooktown Crossing, I proceeded to head south towards Dimbula, and down through that area it was so hot and dry, I couldn't believe how hot it was. And that was the next technical difficulty. My phone kept overheating, and I couldn't film a lot of places I wanted to stop and film because my phone kept overheating. So one spot in that area is a spot called Mount Mulligan, and it's got some beautiful escarpments and mountain ranges around the area. But the big story for Mount Mulligan is that it's actually the site of Australia's worst mining disaster back in the early 1900s, I think it was. 80 people were killed in an explosion at Mount Mulligan. They've got a really beautiful little memorial there, and I couldn't film any of it. So if you follow my journey, you'll be able to see it for yourself. And the thing that got me, that makes me realise how soft we are nowadays, is it was that hot out there. I was flat out just standing there. And those guys used to go out there and work in that heat back before there was electricity, or probably not much running water or anything like that. And they used to go and do that. It's just amazing the hard work people used to do back in the day. So yeah, from there got to Dimbula, and then that was the next bit of bitumen from Dimbula to Chiligo, heading west again to Chiligo. Mainly all bitumen again, but there is a little bit of gravel still left on that road. And then after Chiligo, it goes to gravel again. And then the rest of my journey, well, I was only going to Chiligo, but that was the gateway to the tip, because once you go past Chiligo, you keep heading west towards Normanton, but then you turn right and head north again towards Palmer River. And from Palmer River, you can get across to any of the usual tracks that you would normally do going to the tip. So I reckon it's a good little drive, maybe a bit zigzaggy, but if you like to go to the tip and want to do mainly dirt again, it's a good way to go. And I had an amazing ride. I met one young fella on a Himalayan 450, so we had a bit of a bike swap, which was a bit silly because I couldn't get him off cane again. But anyway, the Himalayan, I don't want to diss his owner because he loved it, and for him it was probably the perfect bike, but for me, being a 6'4" Yowie, it was a bit meh for me. It was a bit soft in the suspension, a bit small. The top was alright, but my legs were cramped, and the power was a bit underwhelming for me, and also I really believe they're too heavy for what they are, but they're an alright little bike, and it's the new Rage, so he's happy with it, so good on him. But he certainly enjoyed riding Kane. He was in awe of Kane, as I am every time I ride him. I can't believe what a bike he is. So there you go, a new way. And I have been saying with a guarantee that you can swim in all the creeks, because once you get past, well, the Daintree and anywhere north going the coast road, you can't swim in any of the rivers until you find some nice little creeks here and there that are a bit off the beaten track, like Isabella Falls, which is ironically right on the road, but it's a beautiful spot and it's safe to swim. But heading west before you head north, most of the creeks are croc safe. Like, I can't guarantee that nowadays. I swam in all the creeks and I'd still swim in them again, but crocs are coming back to their population they were before we started hunting them, and they're starting to get into places they haven't been for many, many years. So always keep an eye out. If you're a bit sus, find very shallow areas that are clear and in a bit of a rapid that you can see everything coming. But other than that, I believe all the creeks are still pretty good, but don't take my word for it. Go on your own judgment, because you just can't tell anymore nowadays. I don't want to cull crocs. I believe they're beautiful animals. I just don't want to become that beautiful animal's poo. So I try and stay a bit croc safe. And like I said, those creeks, they've never had crocs in them before, so I'm still happy to swim there, but I'm not going to say it's 100% safe. I can't. So there you go. So I was going to do a bit of caving and another wild camp out at Chiligo. But like I said, that 4 hours running late at the first day just put the whole schedule out. But I did get to one place called Balancing Rock. I did a few videos out there, which a few people have enjoyed so far. So that was good, because I didn't even know that that Balancing Rock existed out there. I thought it was just caving at Chiligo and that was it. So that was something new for me. And then the route home was from Chiligo down to Pedford. And then I went south through to Irvanbank, and then to Herberton, and then out through Malanda, and then down the Gillies Range back to Cairns. So that had a bit of bitumen that way, but if you stick to the other way, it's 90% dirt and only 10% bitumen now. And don't get me wrong, you've still got to do the Creb Track. The Creb Track is such an amazing track, but I would suggest go up the Creb Track, either camp at Roaring Meg Falls for the night, or camp at PK's Backpacker Lodge, or the Lion's Den, which is the iconic place to stay, and then come back down the Creb Track the next day, and then head out west. And then you're going to be doing more adventuring, and there's still plenty of beautiful things to see anyway you go. There's always something beautiful to see out in far north Queensland, as you might already know. So Kane worked flawlessly. Once again, he was perfectly balanced, and you can really feel it when you're riding in the off-road rough stuff. He just feels so smooth and balanced when he's packed up, perfectly balanced. And he's got some good news. I've ordered some heavy duty springs for him finally. So hopefully there won't be no more of this bottoming out every time we want to do a little jump off an erosion jump. So that'll be good, won't it, big boy? Sure will. So there you go, it was a pretty good success. We had a new fella to ride with for a day. He was going on a different journey, but our journeys linked up for one ride for the day. So that was good, got to ride a different bike. And overall, it was an amazing weekend. Got to see some beautiful countryside. And best of all, got away from all the police sirens and police helicopters that are in around Cairns every single day now. So I'm starting to get a bit over that. So it's just good to get out into the bush and enjoy a bit of peace and quiet. So there you go. Amazing far north Queensland on an amazing bike. Keep it real on the back wheel.